Hello, welcome to When the Smoke Clears. My name is Joel. I would like to thank you for attending, for looking at my videos, my podcast. I appreciate that. Um, I'm here at the courtyard at the library in downtown San Antonio, Texas. I came by here to take a look and see, what it is that the San Antonio Library had to offer as far as any books or literature on addiction and recovery, and it was uh, it was astounding at what I found. But before we get into that, I like to always start my podcast out with the moment of silence and a remembrance of the addict and the homeless folks that are still homeless and still in addiction, and the ones who've passed on, and to the the ones who don't know that they're on the road to addiction and homelessness. So, moment of silence followed by a serenity prayer, as I like to follow moment of silence with. All right. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Okay, well, again, my name is Joel, and my podcast is called When the Smoke Clears. And for today's episode is just a glimpse at what a city of more than 2 million people uh, has to offer in their city public library. There's quite a few branches of the library, but this is the most significant because it's the most famous in Texas as far as San Antonio is concerned. It's moved. This library was featured in the Selena film, and it's a big red orange enchilada colored building that is. You see the artwork back there with the big old balls and stuff. I mean, it's a beautiful building, and they got extraordinary artwork in there. A heck of a lot of books. I want to say there's. I talked to a couple of the people that worked inside, and they were, guesstimating it could be a million books in this place. There's 6 floors to this place, and every floor has books, and it's it's mind-boggling of the how many books that are in there, and every subject you can think of is in there. But what really got me is that I asked to see the books on addiction and recovery, and the woman tells me, "Hold on, I'll go get the book for you." And I said, "No, no, no, I don't want just just this. Check that one book out. I'm asking because I want to see what a what is the variety of books you have on that subject. I'd like to go check them out myself." She said, "Okay, follow me." So we went down one of these aisles, and it's she goes, "Okay, it's going to be right here." So she shows me the section where it's at, and I immediately go down and start checking it out. And the first thing I do is I notice that I say, "Okay, just right here," and she goes, "Yes, from here to here." And I'm like, "Okay." So mind you, she's pointing at a span of about, I don't know, 2 feet maybe a little over 2 foot of space. So in other words, probably about the width of my shoulders here, about you know, one, two, three, four, maybe 4 hands in length. That's how far these books spanned out. And I counted the books, and there were exactly 30 books in the part where she pointed out. So I get to looking at the books, and a few books were how to stop smoking. A few of them were 12 step based books on addiction, and there were some that were that talked about alcohol only, and some that were talked about prescription drugs, and the rest were just compulsive behaviors and ADHD. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, I mean, for a city of 2 million people and a vast area here, this is, let me let you know, this library is next to a part of the University of Texas at San Antonio College. There's a campus that's close to here, the downtown area. So I'm thinking, man, there's only not not hardly any of the books talked about recovery, talked about dealing with addiction or homelessness, and it was just a doctor's insight on how you can probably become homeless, or how you can probably become addicted to drugs, what addictive behaviors do, how they stem, what they stem from, that sort of thing. Well, I decided to check a book out, and it's called Creative Recovery. This is the book right here. Let me show you. I've read a little bit. I just started. I read the first couple of pages, um, but it's a book of how to use your creative side on on how to tell if you could become an addict, or are prone to being an addictive, have an addictive personality, or just how do you use your creative minds and background uh, on recovery. So I haven't read the whole book. Obviously, I just got it. I just walked out, but it's when I'm gonna read it, I'm gonna see what it's all about, and on my next episode, I will give you some feedback on how this book, how I think it helps. And one of the things that I noticed there, that I got a, that I brought my own book, and it's this book, the NA book, the Narcotics Anonymous book. You see, well, this particular book has is in every, probably NA or AA meeting that you go to. There's going to be a copy of this book somewhere in one of the meetings, and there are quite a few meetings that are held here in city of San Antonio, all over town, different congregations of churches, different people in recovery have these meetings set up in different places, and there's a you can Google them and that sort of thing. A couple of good meetings that I know of that you can go and attend to is the Esperanza meeting in the west side, the Winners Club, which is out in the northwest side of town, the Goliad Group, which is in the southeast side of town, and Club 12, which is in the central part of town, north central, I would say, and all good places. You know, you're a lot of good folks in all of those places. I know some people in every single one of them, and I know people who have been to those meetings and who have stayed clean, and some who have not. But nonetheless, uh, they're good meetings with good informational they need good people to help you stay clean and that sort of thing. But just so that you know that there's programs like that out there, and all you have to do is just Google them. They're front page of Google. Whenever you Google, I mean, you'll find them, and you can ask, talk to the people. You don't even have to. All you got to do. I mean, if you're embarrassed or if you don't know, if you've never been, all you have to do is go attend the meeting. Everybody's friendly there, so don't get surprised if you get bombarded with hugs and a lot of people coming up to talk to you, but because they're excited that you're there. They're happy that you're there. They're if you're there, you the smoke has cleared for you a little bit, so that's a good thing. And but I would like to let I'd like to the viewers to know that this is a big city. Okay, well, San Antonio is probably the eighth largest city, maybe the fifth largest city in the U.S. And there's a heck of a lot of group of people here. San Antonio has a big number of heroin addicts in this town, and hold on, folks. You got right over there. And also, I am just I know a lot of people in the homeless and in the drug infested communities, and I can tell you from firsthand experience that a lot of these people, most of these people, I want to say 95% of these people are in addiction and homeless, not because they want to be. Something happened along the way of their life that whatever the problem was, they decided to remedy that problem with alcohol or drugs. And that is just unfortunate. But, and we're close. I mean, we're only 3 hours away from the Mexican border. So, San Antonio is a hub for drugs coming in from Mexico to the United States. There's a stopping point, and this city is one of those stopping points. So is Houston and Dallas. That we're the first big metropolitan major cities in the U.S. before the drugs hit the rest of the United States. It comes here first, and it's a hub, and we here in Texas get first-hand experience of the purest drugs that come through the United States from Mexico. The heroin, the cocaine, the methamphetamines, all the GHBs, the Xanax, the bars, all that stuff first hits here in this town. And it's unfortunate because we get to see firsthand how that meth and heroin that is filled with, layered with fentanyl, and it's dropping people immediately. I mean, these people are doing a hit of this stuff, their normal hit that they normally do, and it is knocking them down as soon as they take it. I'm not talking, I've witnessed it firsthand myself, visually witnessed somebody shooting up this drug that has fentanyl in it and within minutes, within seconds of shooting that stuff in their body, you, I mean, they're they're laid out, and it's unfortunate because fentanyl doesn't care. Cartels, they don't care. The drug dealer, he don't care. All they care about is that money. If you paying the money to get that drug, that's what they want. They don't know and they don't give a shit about the domino effects of that. Now, firsthand, that's what we mean when we say that we're on the front lines of the addiction and homeless community. That is frontline stuff. That is reality. That happens every single day, every single morning out here in the streets of San Antonio. And a lot of people just, they don't, it's not that maybe not that they don't care, it's that a lot of people don't know. They're not aware. And unfortunately, the government and local city officials, the local city government, it's just a vast problem. It's just too much. It's too much, and they don't know how to deal with it. How they deal with it is, put you in jail before they try to get you help. That's a given. And there are programs out here that will help, that are trying to help remedy that problem, but it's just too much. I mean, you're talking a lot of people. I mean, if it's 2 million people, and you say 20% of those people out of 2 million, that's what, 200,000 or better? That's 400,000 people probably that you got to deal with. And it's, 400,000 people that are addicted to drugs, and probably another, 400,000 that are homeless. The number adds up. I don't. Those are just numbers that I'm coming up with at the top of my head, just based on our population, and saying that, okay, 10% of 2 million people is X amount, and I don't know what the numbers are, but I can guarantee you this: the numbers aren't small, and there's people. One in I think the statistics is 1 in 5 out of every 5 people is addicted to drugs in some way, sort of facet, or know someone who is. So I decided to do these podcasts and these videos just to bring awareness of problems in our city, and not only in our city, but it's all over the nation. This is just one major city, and this problem is not only in our city; it's in all of the cities. Every city in the United States, there's an issue with alcohol. There's an issue with drugs, and it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what race you are, what religion you believe in. Drugs don't care. They'll take you down just like the next guy. So, whether you're listening from a big city or you're listening from a rural community, a rural area in the country, there's help for you too. I mean, you get to a program, you call, you Google, and you find an AA and NA meeting somewhere, and I can guarantee you there's going to be somebody who will say, hey, you know what, I got you, I'll go pick you up, take you to a meeting. Because the first step is admitting you have a problem, number one. If you're tired of being in that rut, if you're tired of being in that evil hole, if you're tired of, waking up and you're always putting a drink in your freaking body, or you're pissed off because you ain't got a fix right now and you're gonna go do something stupid to get it, uh, you know, if you're tired of that life, there's a way out. There's people out there who care. I care, and that's why I do this, and to bring awareness to people who don't know, and who may just hear something that I have to say, and maybe this encourages someone to say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do it today. Just for today, I'm gonna stop using. Just for today, just for right now, I'm not gonna do it. And just in that moment, when you say that, and it gives you a few moments, and maybe it gives you, if you not using for a few minutes, or multiplying to a few hours, multiplying to a few days, that starts giving you clarity. That's how the smoke starts clearing in your mind and your life, so that you can launch into the next phase of your life better. I mean, look where I'm at right here, and look, I'm gonna show you right over here. Look at this. What we got over here? See this right here, right over there? It's a guy just sleeping there. He's homeless. He's got nowhere else to go. There's a cool breeze right now. He's under the shade, and most people who sit right here, they don't have nowhere to go, and they're sitting out here panhandling, or looking, for that, figuring out how and what they're going to do to get the next drug or the next drink, and it's because of things like that. Because I've been there. I've been on a bench like that. I've been on the bench I've been in the back of the building, in a piece of cardboard, just sitting there, wondering how I wound up there, and freezing my ass off in the winter, burning my head up in the summer, and it's not fun. It ain't no fun. I've been there when you go into a convenience store just because you're freaking starving, or you're hungry and you got a few cents and you like short a couple of pennies, and the clerk is giving you this ridiculous look like what are you doing in my store? You know how ugly and humiliating that feels? It's terrible. It's terrible. I mean, I can remember going into a convenience store one time, and I was, man, I had walked a long way. It was hot. I thought I had enough money for this bottle of water. I was short like 2 cents, and this guy at the store wouldn't sell me the bottle of water, and nobody. I asked a couple of people, and nobody would help me with the 2-3 cents that I needed, and I walked out of there. I walked out of that store that night feeling. I had never felt like that before. I was just, I was shocked, number one, and this feeling of just sadness came through my heart, that I just walked away from that store with tears just streaming down my face. And I just couldn't believe that people could be so. Couldn't believe that people could be so just ugly to somebody, like this hatred that they had to someone walking in that was just a slightly dirty in a backpack, and just a little rugged looking, but they had no empathy, they had no compassion, they had no care. They didn't give a shit. To be quite frank, they didn't give a fuck. And that day I knew, that day to me defined, I'm sorry, that day for me, it defined the day, that day defined a time for me that I understood how these people out in the street were living their life. How you could go from having it all to having this lonely, this hopeless, like, wow, is this where I'm gonna wind? Is this it? Am I gonna wind up like that? Is this just where my life is going? And here's the kicker: despite all of the things that I went through, despite all of the things that I saw, that I experienced, the feelings and the the witness of the traumatic experiences and being there on the front lines firsthand, I didn't, I couldn't get out because I wasn't looking to get out. I didn't know where the help was. I didn't understand that I had a disease. I didn't understand that my mind is programmed a certain way to say, who gives a shit about all of that stuff? You have blinders on, sir. You have a visual picture of the world that is different from the normal person. So, you, my friend, need to go find you some more drugs. That's how you're going to feel better. Remember? Or did you forget? So, in turn, there, what do? I didn't feel, that feeling didn't go away from me until I got to the destination where I was going, because I knew that there was drugs there. I knew that when I got there, I knew people, and they're gonna be like, "Here you go, my brother. There's the bolo. Take a hit. Feel better. Get situated." And after taking that first hit, man, you just relax in that chair, sit yourself down, and then you just, man, go up close to fucking water, and you're good. You just forgot every single thing that you went through emotionally, physically, what happened in the past, stayed in the past, and you don't give a fuck about it because you're in the present of that smoke, in the present of that fulfillment, in the presence of that masquerade, in the presence of insanity, in the presence of something that you think is there, something that you think you're going through, something that you think you're doing that is fiction. It's a facade. Because in reality, you don't feel better. You just masked what you were feeling a while ago for a few minutes. Because ultimately, you're still an addict. You still have the disease. You just got to a point on that particular day to remedy that feeling. Because you decided not to be honest, not to be willing, and not to be open-minded. You shut it down. You shut down. And the only way you know how to shut down and deal with the shutdown is the isolation and the drug and or alcohol or whatever it is that you're addicted to. And that's when the smoke gets thick. When the smoke gets thick, it's hard to see where you're going. It's hard to see what you're doing. But it's real easy to get into that mood. It's real easy to get into that thick smoke and not come out. Because you can just be going in circles and you don't know which way is out. But for me, fortunately, I got put in jail, number one, and through there I was offered a recovery program. I accepted it. I went to it. I stayed in the recovery program for 60 days. I got out of that and got transferred to a different program, which is like a sober living community. And I decided to make those choices because the smoke has cleared for me, so that I could see and make those decisions. And it's just a little different. How's it going?
Gilly survived that.
Yes, sir.
Jesus, right.
So it is. It's tough. It's tough, and people deal with that every day. I mean, look at this guy. He just walked by me. The guy that was sleeping over there, he woke up and he walked by there. He's drunk. He's drunk. He's talking loud. He's raising hell. And he almost fell right there. He's a lost soul, and I'm gonna go over there and talk to him and maybe pray for him. Maybe I'll give him that NA book. Maybe I'll tell him that maybe he wants to go to a meeting later. But I mean, I just hope that this podcast has reached some people today, and maybe encourage some of you folks to attend a meeting to decide that just for today that you're going to stop using or drinking. I encourage you to Google places that have meetings and like AA and NA meetings, and I encourage you to go to your local library and maybe check out one of these books and catch up on some reading. It's very formidable. These books, it doesn't matter which book you get, if they're there and there's a 12-step program book or just anything that has to do with recovery or addiction, right here, recovery, it's going to help you in some sort of way. So I encourage you to go to your local library, get you a card. I got one today. I had to fill out a few things, and it wasn't hard. I used a piece of mail that I had to show proof of address, but there you go. That's my new library card. Kind of cool, right? San Antonio, Texas library card right there. But yeah, so again, till the next episode, like I said, I'm going to read that book, and once I'm done with it, I'll get back on and give you the feedback, let you know what it is that happened. Yeah, what was that, sir? I don't smoke, sir.
You had diamond and thing?
I don't. But yeah, I don't have a cigarette on it. Sorry about that. Yes, sir.
Everything.
Okay. But I would like you guys to know that once I'm done reading the book, I will come back and give you a feedback on what I learned out of the book and what I thought about it. Oh crap! Whoa! Well, there you go. That's the the risk of doing a podcast out here live, and but anyway, I am gonna run over here and go see if I can catch that guy that just came and asked me if I had a cigarette. Maybe I'll give him a bottle of water that I got and something. Maybe I'll go get him something to eat. he wants to eat. But okay, well, again, till the next episode of When the Smoke Clears. Till next time, we'll see you. Thank you.